Hello, everybody, and happy Friday. Today, I have a very important topic to address, and I think it will really resonate with everybody in some way. So, what I want to talk about today is change. And, we experience all kinds of change in our life, um, and in different ways, in different situations. But I want to read a definition that I have that I think is the most inclusive of everything that I found, and it says, "Change is a broad concept that refers to the process or act of making something different from its current state or condition. It involves a transition, transformation, or alteration in various aspects of life, such as physical, emotional, social, or environmental. Change can be intentional or unintentional and may result from natural processes, human actions, or external forces. It is a fundamental and inevitable part of life and can manifest in countless forms, including changes in attitudes, behaviors, circumstances, systems, and more. Change can be gradual or abrupt, and its effect can be positive, negative, or neutral, depending on the context and perspective." So that is a mouthful, but I think it um, confirms my point that change happens in every corner of our life, whether it's business, whether it's personal, whether it's emotional, whether it's physical. Change is a part of our life. It's inevitable and it is constant. So I want to talk a little bit deeper about change today. Um, I know the last 3 years, all of us have experienced many changes, but even before that, we experience change in all kinds of ways all through our life. So I want to talk a little bit about different kinds of change. One could be a physical change where maybe it's obvious where you're losing a lot of weight or gaining a lot of weight or something like that, or it could be just a physical change that you feel and internally, and it's not something that anyone else could see or notice. So physical change is a big part of our life since we were born until now. um, Another one is emotional change, and I think that encompasses, um, the well-being. It encompasses your mood and your temperament, and also responses to life events. And I think, excuse me, I think that's a big one for me, especially the last few years, because I had a pretty long history of mental health, depression, anxiety in my life that I never dealt with. So the emotional change after the pandemic shut everything down for me was huge, because it was a time when I actually went back and processed all of those things for myself, and also, you know, some some things that happened in my life that I hadn't really dealt with emotionally. So I think we can also look inside with that. It could be emotional about losing my business or losing a job or trying to figure out how to save your business. I mean, we all went through so much change and emotion through that process, and I think it's important for us to acknowledge that, and how do we deal with it? How do we process it and heal from it so we can move forward? Another big one I think is social change, and that is, also the last 3 years with the social situation. We went from traveling or being in person, having dinner with our friends, having people over to our house, to, like, no social activity at all, and then it's gradually come back, but it's very different in my opinion. So I think that's another way that we experience change is socially. It also could mean, like, you move and you have a whole different set of new friends, because all the friends where you lived before, you're not able to see in person anymore. So social can be a big change. Um, Another one is cognitive change. And I want to talk about that a little bit because it really is about your brain. It's about learning, it's about memory, it's about problem solving, and it's also about decision making and what your skills are around all those things. And this affects us personally and professionally because cognitively, um, if we're experiencing any kind of trauma or any kind of depression or anxiety, it affects our cognitive skills. It affects how we make decisions and how we problem solve. And if you're a business owner or a busy professional or a leader of some sort, this is really important in all aspects of our life, and especially business. Um, and that goes along with like a career change. A lot of us are doing different things now than we did 3 years ago. Even if we're doing the same work, we might be doing it for a different company or in a different place. So that is a lot of the change that's also going on in the world. And what goes along with that is finances or financial change. And that means, whether it's your independent checking account or savings account, or whether it is your financial status in your business, or if you trade stocks, or if you own property, and how all of that changes and what that looks like in the financial world. Um, Another one is just a lifestyle change. Maybe it's your daily routine or your habit or something around, what you do on a daily basis. Maybe you're trying to get more healthy or eat more clean, or you're just, trying to stop drinking or things like that. And I've been through that as well. So the other kinds of change we talk about are maybe religious or spiritual or maybe technological. What technology are we using? How is social media affecting our lives? So there's so much outer influence on our brains and our thoughts that it is really hard to know if what we're going through is something that's influencing us in a negative way, or is it something that we're really actively trying to change in a positive way? Um, the other types of change are like cultural, maybe it's traditions, or like I said, moving or something like that. It could also be educational. Maybe you recently got a new degree or you have a new career. It could be family changes, it could be marriage, it could be divorce, it could be having children, it could be the loss of a loved one. So that can all be family change. We talk about health. We talked about that a little bit already. What about political? What about personal growth and development? What about your attitude or perspective? And also environmental or global changes. So all of these things are influence our every minute of our thoughts, whether it's present to our mind that it's happening, or maybe it's just in the background. But all of these different things in the world are having an effect on us and causing change, either negatively or positively, on a daily basis and usually on an hourly basis. So, the reason I wanted to talk about change today is because it's so important that we're intentional about the change in our life, in the things that we can control. Obviously, there's things that can affect change in our life that aren't in our control. I understand that. But the things that are in our control, how do we be more intentional about that change and making sure it is for the best for our personal growth and our mindset and our um, problem solving and critical thinking ways. And so I also wanted to share with you today this new book that I have. I'm an author in it that wrote. And it is called the Change Series. It is the fastest growing personal growth series in the world. And Les Brown wrote the foreword. And it's also Jim Lutz and Jim Britt are the ones who put this together. And I was really excited about this book because not only did it allow me to meet some incredible people, but it also allowed me to tell my story in a little different way than I ever had before. And so, what I wrote in this book, I'm really proud of. I'm really proud of um, not only the journey I've been on, but just what I've accomplished because of the journey. And some of the things that I've accomplished were not anything that was even a thought 5 years ago. It was something that came about by losing a friend to suicide. It came about by losing my business to COVID. It came about from a whole lot of reflection and work on myself to figure out, why am I going through all this and what am I supposed to do with it? And so I want the message I want to get across today is that change is not always good or positive, or at least at first. But if we can embrace the change and figure out how to use it to benefit us or to benefit others around us, then we can come out of it with a different perspective. And so my chapter is called Thankful for the Scars. And I would love for you to read it. I'll put a link below this video that you can download it and read it for free. You can read my chapter. And I would love to hear what you think about it. I would also love to hear from anybody watching this video. Like, what is the change in your life that you're proud of, or that you're dealing with, or that you're not sure how to get through? And I would love to talk to you about it. So I hope this is helpful. Change, like I said, change is constant. It's inevitable. It happens to all of us every day. And we have to decide, how do we receive it? How do we move forward with it? And how does that change affect us cognitively in our brain in a negative or positive way? And how do we process that, heal from it, move forward from it? And I think it's, change is good in many, many ways. And so I hope that if you have change in your life, you're embracing it and you're finding out how to move forward with it in a positive way. And again, please reach out, go to the link below the video after this is done, and read my chapter. I would love to hear what you think. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And if anyone is interested in telling more about their own story, I would also love to talk to you. So have a great weekend, and I'll see you next week.